Hello, and welcome to the Tavern Chat Podcast. This is episode 71. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, the main proprietor of the Tenkar's Tavern blog. Yesterday, I talked a bit about the announcements for Magic the Gathering and D&D 5e that Hasbro's CEO talked about on an interview on CNBC, and we got a little feedback from that, so without much further ado, we have Glenn Hallstrom and Matt Jackson who left us voicemails. So let's give that a listen.
Hey Eric, Old Man Grognard here. Yeah, I just heard your episode about Wizards, Hasbro, and Esports. It didn't stop with 4th edition. They're still trying to hit that video game market. Dang it. I wish they'd just let it ride, but they have to make money or they're going to make money. That arena thing, I find it laughable. But then again, they managed to make poker a sport. So there's that. Anyway, doing a good job as usual. And I hope to hear more from you, which I will. And congratulations on everything. And congratulations on getting a new chair. I could use a chair myself. Anyway, you take care, and we'll talk at you later. Bye-bye.
Hey, Eric, it's Matt from Matt Random. Hey, I thought I'd just call in because I have a couple thoughts on this. I can see, given Adventures League and the old RPGA, how they could have characters that are ranked, with GMs that do prescribed adventures and they get awarded points or something. I can see something like that happening. Excuse me. But I think really more than that, I think they may be looking into expanding the brand. I mean, think about how popular it is now. If they make a very simple core program that they can plug in modules that you can buy, like add-on modules, and you can play that on your phone. Granted, it wouldn't be D&D face-to-face or even role-playing by our definition, but they could probably make millions off of something like that. Anyway, that's my thoughts, man. Take it easy.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Admittedly, the CEO of Hasbro probably knows less about gaming than my parents do, in our hobby. He just knows that it makes money, makes the company money, and that D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, is a brand that they can certainly make more money off of if they get it more digitized, if that's the right word, I guess. In any case, thanks for the feedback. Today, we are going to, believe it or not, delve into the Fiend Folio. Somebody brought up in last night's weekly Tavern Chat, we do a voice chat on the Tavern's Discord server Wednesday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern until 11 plus. There's been nights we've gone to like 3 a.m., but usually it's around, we end between 11 and midnight. But somebody had asked in the text chat, if I would be given the Fiend Folio and the Monster Manual too, the treatment that I've given, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, Unearth Arcana, the first Monster Manual. And you know what? Yeah, I think I shall. Now, the Fiend Folio, which I'm going to look at a little bit today, is a strange beast. Most of what is in the Fiend Folio comes from Games Workshop, White Dwarf magazine. Now, they don't name it. Where is it here? The new monsters in the Fiend Folio tome, however, are creations of many people. Some time ago, the editor of a UK magazine asked readers to submit their monster creations to a regular feature, which became known as the Fiend Factory. The response was quite enormous, and many worthwhile contributions reached the editorial offices. As the editor of the feature, I never lacked new and interesting monsters to fill the factory pages each issue. Indeed, for a magazine has inevitable limitations on space, it soon became evident that many worthwhile creations would not be published until long, long after their submission, if at all. At the same time, the readers were praising the feature and demanding more, so there was a goodly supply and a strident demand for additional AD&D monsters. And these factors gave birth to the Fiend Folio, tome of creatures, malevolent and benign. So, you look at that, and like I said, the unnamed magazine is White Dwarf. The company was Games Workshop. Games Workshop initially had pretty much an exclusive license from TSR to reprint the AD&D books over in the UK because they did away with the import fees, made the books more affordable for the UK market, and they were able to publish AD&D Adventures, D&D Adventures, I believe, in the White Dwarf magazine. And of course, they had the Fiend Folio or the Fiend Factory. The deal that Gygax wanted is he wanted to actually do a merger between TSR or Games Workshop, although I would assume it was less of a merger. It was more an acquisition that he was hoping for, because I don't think he was going to give control of TSR to Games Workshop across the pond. Obviously, the deal never happened. So instead, we get the Fiend Folio. The Fiend Folio came out, I believe, in 1981. I really should just verify that real quick. Yes, 1981, TSR Hobbies Incorporated. Now, it doesn't have an author. It has an editor, Don Turnbull. He's also the managing director at the time of TSR UK, which was just formed. And when they couldn't do the merger or the acquisition of Games Workshop, TSR formed its own UK division. And this was, I believe, the first product that was commissioned by or completed by the UK side of things. Now, the thing with the monsters in the Fiend Folio, some of them are quite good, and they've become iconic in D&D. Some are silly, to say the best. And some are damn near shit. But that's just being honest. Things that really stick out, though, if you want to, bullywugs. I mean, bullywugs, if I recall correctly, were well presented in the D&D cartoon. So they became a good part of what is considered D&D, I guess, lore, you could say. The Karatid column, that Guardian column, I've saw used many a time. Death Knights were brought to us by the Fiend Folio. Well, then again, we have the Flail Snail and the Flump. The Flump, if anybody recalls, is probably the most useless creature in D&D, or one of the most useless creatures. They're basically a punching bag, a awful good punching bag. I really don't understand why, but now other creatures that are going in. I'm just going through the table of contents right now. I'm not even going to look deeply at what is there. I'm going to do that later in future posts. Gibberlings were introduced in the Fiend Folio. Githyanki and Githzerai. I never get that one right, but the Githyanki, huge thing. These are something that D&D really latched onto. Grells, Hukava, if I'm pronouncing that right. Kenku, I've seen that. Kuatoa, something else that you didn't really see until Fiend Folio. Some of these creatures showed up in modules, but some of them are good. Slad, man, these things are death. This Sviver the Flim, it's deeply the deep gnomes whose name you can't pronounce, at least I can't, and I'm not going to try it. The Vart was Zavart, XVART, Yellow Musk Creepers, Yellow Musk, Zombies. These are things that I recall seeing in adventures, and suddenly, Loth herself, she makes an appearance in here in the Fiend Folio. So the Fiend Folio isn't just UK sourced material. The Fiend Folio is also stuff that appeared in TSR Adventures and get put into print here. But again, some things are just goddamn goofy. And it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not that it's unbalanced. It's just the quality of creatures in the Fiend Folio is very erratic, irregular, fucked up. But it's a fun book. And now for me, the Fiend Folio holds a special place because when I came into gaming with AD&D, I told this before, I believe, that my parents got me the Player's Handbook, the DMG, and a really nice set of dice. What I didn't have was a monster book. But you didn't need the monster book because the back of the DMG has the whole list of monsters and lists all their stats, not a description of it, but lists everything that you need to run the monster, right? Except for explaining, I never found an explanation when I was reading the book of the DMG, that what hit dice, HD, stood for. Because it's hit dice, HD. So I figured HD was hit points. So why does an ogre have 4+1 hit points? That's just put down 5. So yes, my initial campaigns that I ran, my players were blowing through shit left and right. And then I picked up the Fiend Folio because, again, why buy the Monster Manual if all the stuff from the Monster Manual is in the back of the DMG? And then I got the Fiend Folio, and I had my oh fuck moment where I was like, oh, wait a second. There's an actual definition for hit dice is indicate hit dice indicate how to calculate the number of hit points the monster can withstand before dying, unless stated otherwise. Hit dice are 8-sided points per die. The indicator number of dice are rolled and the resulting number is added together to arrive at the monster's total hit points. Some monsters have hit points which are less than 48. Sometimes monsters have more than the hit dice, such as 5 dice plus 3. This was my oh fuck moment. I was like, I've been doing this wrong for how long? So yeah, the Fiend Folio was my eye opener on hit dice. I picked up the Monster Manual after that. So, all right, so that's my little introduction to the Fiend Folio. I am sure I'll have lots to mine from this going forward. Well, again, folks, as always, thank you for listening. For my Patreon backers, thank you for backing the Patreon. I don't know if you've noticed again, but my new chair, I'm going to be talking about this for a while. It doesn't squeak anymore. I don't have my +1, and it's nice. Thank you all again. God bless. Be well, be safe. Roll your dice, and roll high or low, depending on your needs, but roll them well. And I will talk with you all tomorrow.